A huge thank you to everyone who's continued to support my work on Talk Beliefs. I now have a Patreon campaign where all contributions go towards the cost of travel, audio and video equipment, and fees to religious events that I fully intend to continue to infiltrate. Thank you. Okay, I'm in the supermarket at the moment and just looking outside, I see a couple of guys handing out A5 sort of size cards to people. Could be, money off vouchers or something like that. But I don't know. The more I look at them, the more I'm getting kind of the whiff of religion about it. Not sure why. I can usually tell these things. So I'm just heading out now. And while they're heading off, I'm going to follow them and then see exactly what it is. What is it you're giving out?
Basically, we're Muslims, and we're trying to break down barriers and actually what Islam is about, not what the media says about Islam, how Muslims are being demonized.
Okay.
We're just normal human beings. That's what we're trying to tell people. We're just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And because it's so hard, there's so much negative things about Islam going on, and we're saying, look, not all Muslims are like that. And there's like there's about I don't know how many, but 2.5 to 2.6 billion Muslims around the world. And surely they're not all bad. There's only like 0.0.1%.
Oh no, I don't expect that they are, but you're going to have extremists, aren't you? And
no,
that's what's going to get on the news.
I agree with you. I would say that 0.1% of these people are actually doing things that are nothing to do Islamic, because in Islam it says you do not take anyone's soul. So we don't know who they are. We don't know why they're using the religion to, I don't know, to get population, to get more people on their side. But for me, they're not doing it in Islam. They're doing it for a political goal, whatever they're trying to achieve.
Well, you can take anything like out of the Bible. You could take,
and you get
anything
more
out of the Old
followers.
Testament, and then you must kill somebody who's divorced or not a virgin or something like that. And if that's something you want to do, then you can just say, well, it's in the Bible.
Yeah, but what they do, they try to use it out of context, and they try to use the religion to get more followers.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And for whatever political goal, they've got whatever they want to achieve. And then it seems like we are the ones that have to be out here breaking down the barriers, and it's really hard.
Because I think there's some people who are convinced, so I don't know, tell me if this is wrong, but in the Quran and the Hadiths, isn't there a verse rather, to do with apostasy, and that you must kill somebody who's an apostate?
But again, look, if something like that pops up, you have to understand what is it referring to. I can't just say, look, there's something about apostasy, whatever, and then maybe it's talking about in a complete different system, living in a different place or something. We don't know what it is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It is there, though, you understand?
I'm not too sure. I haven't come across it, but what I'm saying, for anything for me as a Muslim, I have to clarify it.
Yeah.
I cannot take it out of context. I have to understand where is it in the Quran, what it's talking about, where it's talking about, what time was it revealed. Because if I just take anything out of context, maybe it was talking about hundreds, thousands of years ago. You cannot apply that now.
Well, Christians will say that to me too. I'll say, why did God destroy all these people, and including children? And they'll say, oh, that was in the old days. No, but he still did it. But it was still a decree of murder. Doesn't matter when it is.
Of course, I agree with you. And I believe as a Muslim, I don't think God would do such thing.
Yeah.
Maybe if people, like I say, it goes back to the same people. If they did it for a political cause, or whatever cause they want to do it and use religion, that's not to do with what actually the religion is.
Yeah.
The religion is clear. It says it's peace. The word Islam within itself
I'm sure
is peace.
it says that, but it also seems to say some other things as well. I mean, I haven't read it completely. From what I've heard, that's why I want you to clarify.
So
is there anything in the Quran or the Hadiths that talks about killing infidels or apostates, in other words, unbelievers?
This is what I'm saying.
If there isn't, then good.
No, there isn't. This is the thing. If someone takes the context out of the Quran, if someone haven't read all of it, but they take the bits and bobs what they want, you can refer it to anything. Maybe I can refer it to now and then make my goal legitimate, and they say, look, it says it in the Quran. Doesn't make sense. We have to understand when it was revealed, where it was revealed, and who it was revealed to, and what is it referring to, what was the system there at the time, who are the people. You have to understand all these things. Otherwise, honestly, any book I can take it out of context and say, look, I'm doing this, but it says it in this book.
Now this question, I want to ask you one thing, because I would say this to a Christian as well.
Yeah.
If it was revealed by God who knows everything, then he would know that in the future, or at any time in fact, that it would be misinterpreted and people would be unnecessarily hurt. He would know that.
But again, yeah, of course, God knows that. From what I know, He's aware of everything.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, if you done that thing, you've got a political goal behind you. You've got a big reason behind you.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to take over a country, whatever it is. You're using the religion to get the followers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, look, this is what I'm using, this verse, whatever. What do you mean by God knows? That's down to you as an individual. You're doing it for your own cause.
Yeah.
God's going to hold you accountable on the day of judgment for doing that, but you're doing it for your own cause. You're not doing it because God knows. God's aware of everything. He's already told you what's right and wrong. But your intention, you know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
But do you understand, though, like when I think about not just Muslims and Christians, but other groups, well, they can take their holy book and say, I have no evidence that this is real, but I'm going to assume that or have faith that it's totally perfect, revealed by a perfect being. I'm going to take what I want and use it for my own agenda.
Yeah.
And say, well, God approves of it, and He's perfect.
That's wrong, because we as Muslims...
I'm not saying you do that.
Yeah, no.
Some people will do that.
No, even if anyone done that. We as Muslims, we have scholars.
Yeah.
Scholars, we call them people of knowledge. And God, even that hadith, it says, if you don't understand the matter, always refer it back to the Prophet, his messenger, which is Muhammad, and the messengers before, which is how Moses understood it and Abraham understood it, John, etc., all these messengers.
Yeah.
If there's something still, there's doubts, so you don't understand, you refer it back to the scholars. We've got big scholars in Islam that clarify these matters.
Yeah.
So with apostasy, whatever you want to call it, they clarify everything. And they are the ones that say, look, let's understand where was this revealed, all these things, and then they put it together, and then maybe that does not apply now because you're living underneath a different system.
Then why are you in any way, shape or form interested in what the Quran says?
What do you mean? No, because the scholars get their information from the Qur'an.
Yeah, but you said it was revealed to certain people, a certain place, at a certain time.
Yeah, I'm talking about the verses. Because you know the Qur'an is like a living miracle. So let me clarify this, because it talks about the past, it talks about the future, and it talks about now. What I'm saying, some people maybe take a context, maybe that was talking about the past. Do you understand what I'm saying? That maybe that verse was revealed at the time of, I don't know, Mecca, Medina, or in Yemen, or the Middle East, or Europe, wherever it was revealed. Maybe it was talking about the time they had a system they were governing by.
Yeah.
Maybe it was talking about that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think so, but I hear very similar apologetics from Christians, you know.
I'm not apologizing for anything, I'm just telling you
not
what...
apologizing, apologetic.
Yeah.
It means explaining what something which is difficult actually means. So, yeah, so I see where you're coming from, but I just don't think there is a need for ancient books.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's like your view and what you think. But you know, with me, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of knowledge to go deep like that. I'm just like out here trying to break down these barriers and tell people like we're just normal human beings just like you, and handing out leaflets.
Oh, that's good.
But there is people that have knowledge, really high knowledge like that. There's a lot of them. Maybe that is the best person to speak to with your questions, because a lot of people bring up these... honestly, there's so many questions like if there is a God...
Are you saying you haven't read the Quran completely?
No, I haven't.
Oh, shouldn't you be doing that before you're out here giving out these...
No, you don't have to. Because if I read the Quran completely, then that means I'll be there all year.
It's not very big.
No, but it's not about reading it.
Yeah.
You have to read it and understand it.
Yeah.
There's translations of understanding the verse, where, like I said, where it's revealed, who it's revealed to, what it's talking about.
But you personally believe it's the word of God, every single word of it?
Yeah, I personally believe that, yeah.
So why haven't you read it from beginning to end?
I've listened to people and I'm trying to read whatever I can. I haven't read all of it, I'll be honest with you, but I've read bits and bobs. But I listen to the arguments as well from atheists, Muslims and Christians and everything. And there's actually the scholars of Islam, no one seems to like say like your religion is bad. They can only accuse it, but there's no proof.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? There's actually no physical proof that says that. The arguments that have been laid down by anyone, they've been answered.
When have you seen the Bible? Have you read the Bible? You know
bits of it.
And
bobs, bits and bobs. I haven't read all of it. No.
But when you look at that or consider that, does it feel like just people writing things down with an agenda?
Yeah,
political agenda.
I don't know about political. I don't know about political. I don't think it is political, to be honest. But for me,
social, even.
I don't know because
sexual.
I don't know about sexual. For me, because we believe the Bible as Muslims. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we believe that Islam comes from the Bible.
Yeah.
And it comes from the Torah.
Yeah.
So it's...
Oh, it's Abrahamic, isn't it?
Yeah, so for me, maybe there's things that I changed, we cannot say these people are really bad or whatever, because they're still human beings like us. Do you understand? We believe that the people of the book were Christians and Jews.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it might all be true, sure, but when I look at the Bible and the bits of the Quran I've seen, to me it looks like people trying to enforce laws and to get tribes to act in a certain way and just to organize society and also to answer questions about death and things like that.
well, like I said, if
You know what I mean?
yeah, I totally agree with you. But
I mean, it might be true, but to me it looks like just people writing stuff,
No, I agree with you, because you understood it from a certain angle.
Yeah.
But for me, the best people to speak to is people of knowledge, like scholars. We have in Islam, there's actually many scholars. We've got scholars in Saudi Arabia, we've got scholars in the UK,
Yeah.
from all over the world. With certain matters, they clarify it, because maybe I don't understand.
Sometimes Speaker's Corner, there's quite a lot of Muslim speakers. I don't know how academic they
Yeah,
are.
but there's all different Muslims there. But I'm saying like scholars, people that actually understand.
Yeah, but they're believers though.
Yeah.
So aren't they sort of biased? Like, this has got to be true.
No, it's not that, because then you cannot believe something and then say, look, this is true, that's it. You have to understand other people as well. That's how you can become a scholar. You understand all different aspects of life.
Yeah.
You understand all religions. Then you compare and then you tell people, look, this is what makes sense according to what that scholar says. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's for me, like people, like if I don't understand something, I always refer back to the scholars, because there's so many matters in Islam that I don't understand.
And there's so many interpretations, and Christianity has over 1,000 denominations, which means nobody understands this perfectly created book, God-breathed book. And I think Islam has got like 40 or 50 different.
Should be one in Arabic.
I've heard there's lots of different sort of versions.
No, it should be one in Arabic. There maybe it's just different people understanding things, but it should be one in Arabic, because the Quran came down in Arabic. So whatever way you understand it, it's in Arabic.
But you do agree that these books have created a lot of confusion, wars.
I don't know about all that, because it's just how people, it comes back to people. I wouldn't say the religion.
Yeah.
Because the religion's always been there. It's people, what they use it for. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If people are using it for their own purpose, whatever they want to achieve, you cannot say that's the religion. The religion has always been there. It's telling you cannot take anyone's soul. Only God can.
But it's telling you something as an absolute. This is absolutely right in every context. Came from a perfect source. That's always going to cause trouble, don't you think?
What do you mean?
It's like a set of rules. Like, these cannot be altered in any way whatsoever. They are set in stone.
Well, in the Quran.
Yeah.
But
the Bible.
They might say in the Bible or
any
anything. But that's why, as an individual, you need to question things. You don't blind follow. Say, yeah, this is it. That's what God says. No, you question it.
Or you can question it.
Yeah, God actually puts challenges out there in the Quran that says, look, this is the Quran. Challenge it. See if you think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Prove it to him that it's wrong. If you're saying, he's saying this is right.
But if you did decide it was wrong, what would happen to you?
Nothing. You have to prove it. No one's proved it yet.
Yeah.
No one. It's 2016.
Oh, well, it sounds
all
quite
over the world.
open-minded, which is quite good.
No, all over the world now, no one's proved it. Because
Yeah.
the Quran is, within itself, it's a living miracle. It's a challenge for all Muslims, non-Muslims, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because even through history, Muslims, non-Muslims, everyone used to live together. So why is it just now it's because people, they don't understand. The Quran is clear.
Yeah.
You cannot take anyone's soul. You cannot fight people like these crazy ISIS, whatever people. These not even people, not even Muslims. But what I'm saying, these kind of different groups and all these people, the scholars already clarified for us as Muslims, these people are not even Muslims. They've come to the conclusion, they've studied Islam, they said, look, there's nothing in Islam that says what they are doing to justify it. They're taking things out of context for their own cause.
So it's all with ISIS or ISIL, whatever it is about the political agenda.
I don't know,
and they're just using the Quran.
They're using it for whatever causes they want to do, and they're not Muslims. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, these people are not Muslims.
Yeah.
Because Islam clearly says, clear cut, only God can take life and only He gives life. So how would you challenge that in you killing Muslims?
Me?
Not you as ISIS, whatever. That's a contradiction, right?
Yeah.
God says only He takes life and only He gives life.
So there's nothing whatsoever in the Quran or the Hadiths that says kill somebody who does not believe.
No.
So that's a fallacy.
I want you as a challenge now to go and find that out for yourself.
Okay, it's just I've been told that it's there.
No,
I'm happy to look it up.
Honestly, look it up, because someone can tell you so many things. This is what happens with ISIS people. People say, look, this is ISIS, and they believe. No, we believe these people are not Muslims. It's the same thing. If someone says
I don't
something,
completely believe the news. Don't worry. I don't believe
whatever it
everything
is,
I read.
whatever it is,
or
news
see
or
on the
people,
news.
whatever. But I'm saying you have to question things yourself.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, I mean, personally, I question the existence of a God in the first place, because there's very little evidence, and people from different religions, they'll speak to me and they'll say, well, look at the trees, look at the stars. I say, yeah, that doesn't prove anything. Something might have made it, but just because we find it amazing doesn't mean some amazing creature poofed it into existence.
Even that is a big topic.
Yes.
Honestly, that is a big topic, and I don't know much about that, but it talks about it in the Quran as well.
Yeah.
It actually, like for example, like that tree, who put it there? What would you say?
Well, you're assuming there's a who that put it there.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying who do you think put it there?
No, there's no who at all.
So how did it get there? I'm sure something can't just get there by itself.
Well, it didn't just arrive there. It was evolution, and it's the Big Bang and all that.
Wouldn't evolution just bam and make a bin?
What, this trash bin?
Yeah.
No, human beings made it.
Exactly. So something made this, yeah, right?
All we know is that we're living in a world full of matter and energy. We're not entirely sure where it came from.
But I agree with you. But for this,
I don't think a man in the sky did it.
I agree with you. I don't think a man either. But someone surely made this. Evolution didn't make this, did it? Because it's too perfect.
Well, a trash bin, we know that human beings made it, and we can actually find the person who designed that.
Exactly.
But we can't do that with something natural.
Have you read all the Quran? And then actually you want to listen to the challenges.
You may be right, but at the end of the day, it's obviously a book written by people. That's all you can tell. That's all you can say. It doesn't matter how fascinating it is.
I'm sorry, but what you can then say, then you go back and you question, you prove if the Quran is right or wrong, isn't it? Because if the Quran is giving out challenges, you see if you can beat that challenge. Because until this day, no one beat it, and then you prove you try to challenge that book within itself.
What's one of the challenges then?
What was one of them 10 challenges? To create just 10 verses like this Quran. Just one, is it one verse? Just one verse.
Oh, you mean to write something as
like that,
well written as?
Just like that. That's a challenge no one can do.
Oh, so nobody could write a Quran type line verse.
Can I try and explain this one to you?
Oh, this is the linguistic miracle thing.
Yeah, the linguistic.
Yes,
have you heard about it?
I have, yeah.
So the shortest is saying, Allah says, look, for you, if you don't believe what we have revealed to mankind, try and produce a verse just like this, yeah? And the shortest verse in the Quran is, do you know how many words it is? It's only 10 words long. So if you want to disprove the Quran, you have to write something similar in terms of context, style and all that, to them 10 words. That'll be better than them 10 words. And like, you can disprove the Quran.
And nobody's done that.
So nobody, and I'll give you an example I'll give you an example of why it's so like special, innit? Like why it's so important, because so in these 10 words, do you know what a rhetorical device is?
Why not rhetoric is,
it's like it's a form of language. So it's like similes, rhetorical questions,
metaphors,
metaphors, rhymes, and all that. Those are all rhetorical devices. So if I was to ask you, like, in a decent bit of English, how many rhetorical devices do you think you could put in 10 words, for example?
Gosh, that's not something I've really thought about. I really don't know.
All right, let's because think of all the rhetorical devices you know, like rhetorical questions, similes, all that, and try and put them in 10 words. How many do you think?
2 or 3 maybe.
2 or 3, So how many do you think are in this verse of the Quran in only 10 words?
Now you're going to say there's a lot, aren't you?
But how many think? How many do you think there are? I know the answer.
I don't know.
If this book is saying it's from God,
is it more than 10?
Now how many have a guess?
30?
30?
Yeah.
There's actually 40 rhetorical devices within
I'll
10
look at
words.
that. Yeah, I'll have a look.
So there's actually more rhetorical devices than there is words. And you think, wow, like how did someone piece it together so well that that's the outcome? And that's only like one of the good
But do you know these lines too?
Yeah, I know the lines. They're in. So so you know
It has to be in Arabic.
It has to be in Arabic. It was revealed in Arabic. But at the time when the Quran was revealed, they were at the peak of the Arabic language. Like they knew poetry, they knew the language inside out, basically. And when these verses came down, a lot of people tried. Even till this day, people are still trying to, disprove the Quran. But it's been 1,400 years.
And when it came down to the people, they were poets.
That's what I'm saying.
And them guys knew what was going on.
Arabic.
They knew it.
Even the guys today, they don't compare to like the Arabic speakers from back then. Like,
well, it shows me that there's very clever writers back then, but it doesn't necessarily prove a god.
So basically, look,
the Greeks were very clever.
Yeah, of course. But if this guy let's say I'd made this up, yeah, why wouldn't he take credit for it? Why wouldn't he say, yes, this is my intelligence and all that? And bearing in mind, Muhammad, he couldn't read or write. Like, history tells us that he was one of the illiterate sort of the population. He couldn't read or write, so he couldn't make this up even if he tried. So, but instead of him taking credit for it, he said, look, I got this revelation from the creator, supreme being. He could have just said, yeah, I made it up. You know what I mean? But he said, no, look, I got this from somewhere else. And they all believed him. They knew this man couldn't make this up because they grew up with him. They knew he couldn't read or write. They knew he was just a shepherd, a simple man.
So, and they challenged him. That's the thing. The poets that actually understood poetry at the time, you know, the Arabs, they were known for poetry. They challenged that, and then they said this cannot be right. And some of them became Muslim at that time.
Do you know the Mormon religion? It's sort of an offshoot of Christianity. The prophet of that, he apparently couldn't read or write, or was fairly illiterate, and yet he produced the Book of Mormon apparently because it was given to him by God.
Okay. How many people follow Mormon?
Oh, a lot. I don't know. I don't have a figure, but it's a lot, especially in America and places like that.
Well, is it like all over the world?
It is, yeah. But that was only in the 1800s. What seemed to have happened is he either plagiarized or got a friend to help him. You know, I'm not saying that's what happened with Muhammad.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked into it myself because even me, I'm just learning and I haven't looked into that.
Yeah, but it's really interesting what you say. I'm definitely going to read one of these.
I am glad they are trying to show that all Muslims are not, ISIS, because that is definitely wrong. Although they say that Islam is a religion of peace, I am pretty sure there are some very violent commandments and lines and edicts in the Quran. I had a Quran once, and I remember seeing something which disturbed me. But the young guy who was talking to me hadn't even read it. And as I pointed out to him, if this really is the word of the number one perfect being in the universe who created everything, you'd want to read that thing cover to cover every day. That applies to Christians as well.